What's up, you guys? Joe Dobby here. I am now a Deck Out Gaming affiliate. Use Joe Dobbs Deck Out at checkout. Deck Out Gaming has tons of singles for Pokemon, Dragon Ball Super, and Digimon TCG, as well as One Piece. They now buy list as well, so don't hesitate to reach out, and they got your back. Really high customer service ratings. Thank you guys, and yeah, let's get to the video. What's up, you guys? Joe Dobby here with another deck profile for you today, and today we're going to be looking into this Mervamon list that was shown to me by one of my friends, Herman. Shout out to you, man. This deck is insane, and apparently this list he took from Evault, so shout out to Evault too. Guys, Evault is one of the biggest Digimon YouTubers in the game right now, so go ahead and follow him. He's got a lot of cool stuff going on. But that said, I looked at this list, and at first I was really taken aback by it, because I was like, I can see the rush potential, I can see it coming out of nowhere, but I can also see it losing very quickly to decks that have a lot of removal, blockers, unsuspends, redirects, a lot of things that can potentially end or cause you to misplay or miscalculate things out of nowhere, like security control. And I managed to test against all these types of decks, and I think we've covered most of the weaknesses of this very interesting Mervamon deck. So we're just gonna dive right into it now. No fluff, nothing too spectacular. The deck list is in here, but I'm not gonna do that and put it out physically so you guys can build as I explain all these different cards. So first things first, we've got 4 copies of Mervamon. You guys know what it is. On deletion, trigger, draw 1, trash 1. Great cycling ability, especially for an egg. It's still one of the best purple eggs in the game right now. Next, we've got 4 copies, of Gabumon, which is a draw 2, trash 1. Once again, you're looking for that cycle, and Gabumon is your main Digimon that you want to Digivolve in Raising with. Everything else is part of the Mervamon archetype, or is a floodgate that you want to hard drop and kind of stick around for that slowdown that you want to hand to your opponents. So going into that, 2 copies of Gazimon, which really prevent your opponent from gaining memory apart from Tamer effects, which I find really huge in certain matchups, especially when Blue Flare starts to pop off with Blazing Memory Boosts, and they're really looking for pieces. They tend to look for pieces with Blaze Memory Boosts. So having Gazimon out as early as possible allows you to build in Raising, swing, 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 build your trash, Merva, game, etc. 2 copies of Psychmon, once again for that Blue Flare matchup. Gazimon and Psychmon together are actually very formidable against anything that has like cross. Just be mindful with the Psychmon that you do drop it, swing first and then drop your Merva, otherwise you're not getting the cross reduced cost. 4 copies of Ignitemon. I'm gonna be honest, I started with only 3 copies of this card, but I miss it a lot. There are times where I bottom deck it because there's a better target. There are times where it's trash due to missed memory boost, and I don't want to wait until I find an opportunity to pick it right back up, which is why 4 is enough. I think if I see 1 or 2 in my hand, I'm trashing one of them, hoping to draw into the rest, and then making sure I always have one in hand just in case I need to do that pretty much. 1 copy of the blocker Devimon. I say that it's a blocker because it's got retaliation and it doesn't do anything except retaliate and block. So this is what he's for. He's here to prevent things like delete the lowest level Digimon with the lowest delete the Digimon with the lowest play cost, for example. I can drop him, save my Ignitemon, my Dark Lizardmon, etc. by dropping this guy. In addition to that, it's a rookie that can retaliate and block with a Mervamon out, which is insane, which is why I like that card a lot. It's just a good tech to prevent stuff like that, where they delete the lowest play cost Digimon. 2 copies of Impmon, the security Impmon. At the end of the battle, you may play 1 purple level 3 Digimon from trash without paying its memory cost, then add this to its owner's hand. That's another reason why I play 4 Ignitemon, because from security, if I've expended all my blockers and my opponent, and I still have a Merva, they're going for game, and they don't want to delete the Merva because they have just enough swings to go for game. This Impmon can really take your opponent's momentum out, because if you have an Ignitemon in trash, you are dropping it on the field. And if they ignored the Merva, or if all of my Digimon are blocked or have blocked, then and that Ignitemon comes out of nowhere, then you're looking at another potential blocker that instantly throws off the calculation for game, especially when they're really going for game, guys. This is a scenario where there's two ways this Impmon has a lot of value. One is your Gazi and Psychmon are in trash, and the Ignitemon play to have an extra blocker come out of nowhere. That's really what that's for. And also, Retaliation blocker is huge, right? Like with the Devimon. So that's another big thing. Impmon also gets added to hand. So, you know, assuming you don't have a rookie, because you're running a lot of cards here that are not rookies. You just have that rookie. I find this at a 2-of very nice. 4 copies of Scatter Mode, you guys. It's the best, or one of the best draw trash cycle value cards in the game right now. I had to get my store participant versions, and yeah, draw 3 trash 2. 2 copies of Soulmon. Oh man, I cannot stress how good Soulmon has been in my security control matchup, especially because of the fact that Shine Greymon Ruin mode exists. So like when it comes to security control, when I test it, they give you as much memory all the time. So if you put them to 1, they give you 7. Put them to 2, they give you 6. Put them to 3, they give you 5. And it doesn't matter if there's 1 Kari on the board. If I'm keeping you at 1 or 2 memory at a time, you're passing turn dropping these Karis, you're not actually removing my Digimon. So unless they get into that 1-of or 2-of Death Xmon, you have stock to keep swinging. And a lot of the times you can leave the Magna out there so it's not in the trash where they can Hell Scythe it back. And if they go into Seraphimon and set up that Ruin mode, Soulmon makes all of your 4K DP Digimon with Retaliation a 6K, which actually calculates into a 1K blocker with Mervamon out when the Shine Greymon has just been Digivolved into, for example. Which I think is insane, because that actually saves you a lot of the effort put into creating the super wide board. And in addition to that, Shine Greymon Ruin mode has kind of taken the space of some Death Xmon security control builds, right? So unless they play 1 of each or 2 of each, which tends to be bricky, this is a very good card to have. I upped the number of Soulmon from 1 to 2 simply because of how well it was doing into my testing. In addition to that, you don't want any 4Ks, you don't want any little blue flare dudes swinging, getting free value and saving themselves. Make sure that they don't hit that security and then go for it, you know. 3 copies of Dark Lizardmon. Now you can switch between the 2 depending on your local meta. 1 Soulmon, 4 Dark Liz, 3 Dark Liz, 1 Soul. Another reason why I play 2 Soul is really because this deck has a ton of cycling to the point where if you bring out Soulmon when your deck count is really low, you're less likely to deck out by being deleted if you are a Dark Lizardmon, right, as a blocker. So that 2 of Soulmon can be very good. In addition to that, once again, guys, 2 Soulmon on the board is 8k DP boost to Dark Lizard. And it's very easy to have 2 Mervamon here, passing turn to like 2-3 memory. 2 copies of Dobermon. The previous list only ran 1. I like 2 because Scatter Mode plus Dobermon, to me, that's 6 cards that allow me to draw into what I need, right? Because the Dober, sure, you're trashing top 3, but you're picking something up. You're drawing from your trash. So to me, that allows me to draw 1 or 2 cards that I need at the specific moment, and potentially get rid of cards that I will need for game, which will be the Retaliation Digimon, the Ignitemon, etc., etc. 1 copy of Nidhogg. I was debating between 1 or 2 copies of Nidhogg, but this all Nidhogg really is, because you don't play any level 5s, is you trash it for 1 memory. That 1 memory is absolutely crucial in situations where Purple Kari is out, in situations where Mimi is out. Some people still play that, obviously, in their security control decks, what have you. And that 1 memory is crucial. I'm gonna be honest. Sometimes you're at 6 memory and you need to go to 7 in order to full Merva for game. And this Nidhogg gets you there, so that's huge. 4 copies of Merva, the best card in the game. Obviously, it's your win condition. So on play and when Digivolving, you may play 1 purple level 4 lower Digimon card, or 1 level 4 or lower Digimon card with Cross Heart in its traits from trash without paying the memory cost. If Digicrossing, add 1 to the number. So you can play 2 level 4 or lower Digimon that have Cross Heart or Retaliation, or just level 4 purple, sorry, in their traits. So depending on how early you drop the Merva, you could drop 2 scatters, cycle, and then prepare your win condition and finish out. But all turns, all your Digimon with Cross Heart in their traits and Retaliation gain Rush and Blocker. So and or, right? So My Digimon with Retaliation or Cross Heart will get Rush and Blocker. So this allows me to set up my plays. Do I want to play defensive and put him to 1 with a Merva play? Or do I want to stay at 0, stay at 1, stay at 2 memory, and go for game? And a lot of the times I'm able to go for game with my first Merva because I'm plussing so much memory, and then passing like 3 or 4 memory with my second Merva and having 3 blockers. So you can calculate how much you're planning on swinging, how many cards you need to defend with, and after that, like it's just gravy all around. Like you've got 6 bodies, deal with the 6 bodies, and if you don't, I still have 3-4 security by the end of it. There's a big chance that I have game next turn. A lot of times, guys, it is very important to cross Merva into another Mervamon when you're gonna be de-digivolved. For example, Dark Knightmon does have that de-digivolve potential, so you want to de-digivolve into a Mervamon, not into like an Ignitmon where it can easily be deleted, and in addition to that, you actually lose all the blocker and rush when you are de-digivolved like that. So depending on the matchup, that play is very important. 4 copies of Jack Raid. It's a mandatory 4 for the specific reason that you cycle a lot, you bottom deck a lot, you trash a lot. So making sure that you have 4 allows you to ensure that you have at least 2 in hand, or 2 per game that you can use, gaining you 4 memory. Because 4 memory, I've found, is like the threshold to get to 7 with a memory with some kind of boost on the field, and with Ignitmon, etc. So that combination is very, very good. In addition to that, it's great in security. Passes turn and sets you up, especially if you've set up a bunch of boosts. Once your opponent passes turn on a Jack Raid, that is your turn to win the game with all those boosts and potentially Merva out, so that's good. So the previous list did not run Glaive Memory Boost unless I didn't see that right. I got away with 1 Glaive. I'm gonna test 2 Glaives right now. If it doesn't work out, I'll throw 1 Glaive out for a Death X. But right now, this 1 Glaive Memory Boost is very, very good because I'm actually able to return 1 purple Digimon card from trash to hand, and this deck is reliant on Mervamon enough that you definitely need Glaive Memory Boost to grab it if you're trashing all of them, especially if your Mervas are in security and your opponent's actually swinging into security and you're seeing that your Mervas are in security, they're getting into trash. Glaive can get that back in addition to the Dobermon and the Calling from Darkness that we do play. In addition to that, it's a boost to gain 2 memory, which is obviously very welcome. 1 copy of Calling from Darkness. This is a card that you absolutely have to have in this deck because your Mervamon, again, you gotta look for that Merva. Typically, best case scenario, your targets, when you have everything going for you, best case scenario targets are always Mervamon and Nidhoggmon. Because, for example, if you have a Digimon with Demi-Mermon underneath, that trashing the Nidhogg off the swing allows you to gain an extra memory, and sometimes that's all you need once again to Merva for game, so very important stuff. You can also return up to 2 purple Digimon cards from your trash to hand, so you can return only 1 if need be, just so you keep the number of cards in trash that allow you to Jack Raid for maximum value. 3 copies of Mist Memory Boost. I ran 4 in the beginning, but I find that in security, Mist Memory Boost and Glaive Memory Boost do the same thing. They give you 2 memory, but in your hands, they do 2 different things. So Mist Memory Boost, I play more than Glaive because Mist Memory Boost along with Purple Memory Boost are early game Memory Boost cards. These are cards that allow me to cycle my deck much faster and allow me to get as much information out of my deck throughout the course of the game as early as possible. So I know what cards I'm gonna bottom deck with Purple Memory Boost. I know what I've trashed and what I've drawn into, and I know what I could potentially draw into for as I'm using these boosts. And that's why I run 3 of. The Glaive is a mid to late game card where I'm starting to see that my mills, my trashes, my security is not going for me. I need to return a card from trash to hand. And the Mist and Glaive actually combo quite well together, which is why I do like that a lot. 2 copies of Tarnished Hero. I also did not see this in the previous list, and I kind of wondered why. I do love this card so much, you guys. It deletes Floodgates, which is a very big thing. I actually have multiple cards in this deck that delete Floodgates. I'm actually now noticing that I don't have Deathclaw, so I will show you immediately what to sub out for Deathclaw. Because my actual deck plays 2 Deathclaws, but I think I can go down to 1. So what you can do here, I like to Tarnished Hero because 2 reasons. On play, main, it deletes one of your opponent's level 3 Digimon. In this meta, in this current game, how the game is going and progressing towards, searching cards are very important. They run rampant, they're everywhere. So because of that, Tarnished Hero, easy turn 1 drop. If you're going second, delete that searcher. They're stuck with 1 Digimon to Digivolve into for the rest of the game. They can't next turn go into 2 level 4s and then a level 5 and a level 4. No early swings, you know what I mean? Like no early swings from their rookie Digimon. You can delete Floodgates, which is why I like Tarnished Hero. It's also a memory boost that forces opponents to trash 1 option card in their hand in order to stop you from gaining 2 memory. And there was a very, very clutch game where I used the delay effect of Tarnished Hero to make my opponent trash their only copy of X antibody in their hand. And then I played Mervamon, set up my defenses, and they were not able to actually tuck X antibody in to protect their stack with the War Greymon. So because of that, that swing was susceptible to retaliation and getting deleted through retaliation. And at that point, it's like, what do? I have 2 Digimon with retaliation. You have 1 body on board, your biggest body, and it doesn't have the X antibody, can't defend itself. So very good card in that regard. That's kind of why I'm testing 2 of and no Deathclaw right now, just to see how important it is. But Deathclaw also serves the secondary purpose of deleting your scatter mode, right? So there's that. So we'll see how it goes. But we're moving on to the last 2 cards. 4 copies of Purple Memory Boost. I'm gonna be honest, like, you can get away with 3 copies of Purple Memory Boost if you want to rely a little bit on RNG and speed, because you can play a 4th Mist instead, or even go down and add a Deathclaw in that regard, keeping your Tarnished Heroes. That said, I'm still sticking to 4 because it's a very important card, and I do get it. 3 copies of Rivals Barrage. The list that I've seen, or that were shown to me by Herman, play 2. I like 3 because I like having 1 in hand just in case I need to remove it. Also increases the chances of getting hit with Dobermon, which is your only trash besides Mist Memory Boost. So if Rivals Barrage comes out on the field, you can grab something back, which is very, very important. And yeah, it just deletes your opponent's Digimon with the highest level, which is super cool. But that is the list, you guys. I absolutely love this deck, and I am gonna keep tweaking it to make it as best as it can be. Towards the later half of next week, I actually have Rip Lungs, shout out to Rip Lungs, his 5th place deck at Mario Gaming World, at his like championship, like his circuit championship, which is like the final event after earning your invite. But going back to the deck real quick, the 2 cards that I would actually substitute here for Deathclaws, because I think 1 or 2 Deathclaws is very important for your scatter mode. But at that point, I was just deleting it for the sake of it, because a lot of times my opponents are like level 5 Digimon, you know. But you know, with a blue flare meta, I can totally see 2 Deathclaw being important. So what you can do in this scenario is reduce Tainted Hero to 1, and then also cut your Soulmon down to 1 or your Dobermon down to 1. Once you're able to do that, then you can add 1 or 2 Deathclaws, and that should be a pretty solid deck, right? Things to keep an eye out for. One thing that you need to hold on to are your Tarnished Heroes and your Ignite-Mons and your Deathclaws. This is your answer to one of your biggest weaknesses, which is the memory blockers. That said, it's not even a big deal, because once you have Ignite-Mon and Raising, you can hard slam Scatter, get so much value out of popping a memory blocker that you're really good to go. I haven't encountered decks also that should be running memory blockers, but they aren't because the decks are too tight. Like, for example, Blue Flare is a very tight deck right now. People are trying to fit in Siakomon for other reasons. It's either Siako or Betamon. It's not both, you know, because the deck is pretty tight. So putting that pressure to deck build towards a more streamlined deck keeps opponents from playing these floodgates, and that's where this deck can really run away with the win. So once again, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and there is some gameplay at the end. But you guys, thank you guys so much for watching, and peace. What's up, you guys? Here is the gameplay for you. I am obviously playing the Mervamon deck, and I took this set 2-1, but I just wanted to show you the fastest game of the set because it really shows you kind of like the expectation that Mervamon and how the deck itself is supposed to play. So hopefully you guys get to enjoy that. And if you haven't liked and subscribed, please do so. I do appreciate it very much. I'm Joe Dabi. I do a lot of content creation for Digimon and other TCGs as well that I enjoy. I'm really enjoying my Hero Academia card game right now, and I'm also enjoying card games like Grand Archive. So that said, enjoy. So shout out to Brady as well. His link will be in the description below. As we kind of get into this match, I do want to say that it's always a pleasure playing with Brady. They're a great TCG player, and Metal Greymon being their favorite Digimon, or one of their favorite Digimon, is super cool. So here we go. This matchup with the Digivolve would have been a tough matchup, but even without it, it's still a tough matchup for Mervamon, simply because of the blocker, unsuspend, redirects, and all the memory gains and protection that you get kind of saves you from retaliation. So it's a very resilient stack that you build with War Greymon. But that said, I'm gonna go ahead and hatch here after they get into their Greymon, and I've got 2 memory to work with, and I think I just go into Scatter and drop a boost somehow. Yes, so I do drop the boost to get started. It's a trash 2, draw 1, and right off the bat, we've got a Dark Lizard in there, so that's very good for me. And in this scenario, you can boost and then go into the level 3 Metal Gray once you've gone into your X antibody counterpart for Greymon, of course, because that's free. And then you're gonna look for the level 5. If you see it. And we do see it, but looks like Brady probably already has a level 5 in hand. So they're just gonna grab the Raiding War Greymon, which is a very good pick, simply because you've got protection from Retail, so you can definitely get rid of the Mervamon by trying to raid over it, and potentially raid over it twice with protection. So I am gonna go to 3 here, which is super cool. Raising that Scatter to get the max value. Will I get that value? Yes, and there are times where you do not need Calling or Deathclaw, and I love that. So that's a draw 2, trash 1 off the Gabu, which I typically start off with first. And now it is a draw 3, trash 2 with Scatter, and we get that Soulmon, which is crucial as well, and we've got Dark Lizard. So our trash is already set. Like, maybe one more Ignite would have been cool, but our trash is absolutely already set here. And what I like to do in this scenario, I feel that I think red has no memory blockers as of now. So just going hard with the memory boosts, searching for my Merva and Ignitemon is definitely what we're gonna do here to secure game. So 100% we grab that Ignitemon, and we are probably going to drop another boost. Do I do it? Yes. So the second boost is important here, and I think I grab Nidhogg. I don't think I need a secondary Ignite. I'd probably grab Nidhogg here. Oh, yeah, I need the Ignite. Probably because I don't have a rookie. And at 3, I know that Brady can destroy and decimate my security, but they've only got 1 stack. I potentially will have 3 Digimon on board next turn, and I know that I'm going to be put to nothing less than 1. So we're gonna be good. Like, I'm gonna be put to at least 2 memory, excuse me. There you go. The only scenario where I think I would be put to more than 1 memory is, well, to 1 memory is if they use the boost and drop a rookie, but I don't actually think that's what happens here. I think they try to go for as much security down as possible, and if I do recall, it's an Omnimon play, which is good because you do protect your stack twice, right? The Omnimon gives protection and the Greymon X antibody gives protection, which is very good. But the Jack Raid sets me to 4 and the Rivals Barrage will attempt to delete it. So that was pretty lucky of me to gain the 2 memory and get to 4, because now I am absolutely guaranteed a Mervamon no matter what happens. So be careful here, guys, by the way. Putting Ignitemon with that just because it's a rookie in raising could potentially lose you the game. Sometimes it's better to hold on to both Ignitemon, especially considering the fact that I don't think I have an Ignitemon in trash right now, right? So that might have been a misplay, but I grabbed another one, so we're safe. So that's gonna be a double, yup, and it's a Merva for 8 going to 1, and I'll gain a memory back off the Ignite that I Digicrossed with from hand, and that's gonna be Soul and Dark Lizard. I dropped the Soul just so I can swing 6k and potentially survive. But we boost again here. I'm not really in a position to attempt anything, so I just go as wide as I can, right? So we Jack Raid for 1, and at that point, this is Jack Raid for 2, and then we slam another Merva to go pretty much lethal. And with nothing in raising, it's gonna take Brady at least another turn to win the game, simply because I've got a ton of blockers. And if there was ever a means to de-digivolve me, I've covered that with the Merva over Merva. Once again, that's why, because I didn't have an Ignitemon. I threw my only other Ignite in raising. So Merva over Merva in this scenario, where I could have put him to 1 instead of 2, right? That said, I think that was pretty much game. Brady does concede here after the draw, and we try to, play it out just to see, but yeah, Brady pretty much says that they've got no out. So there we go. That was game. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a wonderful evening.